No, but seriously, we gotta talk about this. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting superfortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media, and this is the Black Channel, and I am the Black Authority. And you are listening live to the only historically black college and university of higher education and learning in the cosmos that's still protecting its honor. Join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program here, now you all know me, I am not a gossipy type here, but boy, I'm going to tell you, I would be remiss in my duties. I would be negligent in my responsibilities as the headquarters of the Black Media, and if I did not discuss this and put it in its proper context, because I definitely think you need to know that. And because you all are new over here to this, my backup channel, please make sure that you are sharing tonight's program here so that anybody and everybody who is not aware would be aware, because I want to discuss this tonight. Now, there's a video that's been floating around here. There is a video that's been floating around, and yes, I know it is eye bleach bait. I understand that. But there's something I want you to know. This is actually no laughing matter. There's a reason why I'm discussing it. Because actually it's no laughing matter. Please keep one thing in mind. White supremacy tends to always start what it does as a joke, or at least seemingly as a joke.
From the A, I'm a light-skinned girl. It's big rain, a real six, baby. I be all through the A, but a six raised me. And she say she from here, but never been to the block, never been to the 3, then that bitch faking. Jumped off the porch on the east side, gotta get a strap round the city, know I keep mine. Everybody slime, everybody want a meal, it a fucks from out of town, everybody know the drill. I grew up with the lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, Kirkwood shit, and I dare her try. Say she from Cobb, but tell people the A, and it's all just the same, bitch, the devil is a lie, we don't claim that. All the lies you be telling, better tame that. Catch me on Cleveland, I've rolling a fatty, but if you want drama, come catch me on that, the rich rolling your daddy. That's real Atlanta shit. Yeah, I'm fine, I'm an Atlanta bitch, and I'm poppin'. I make Atlanta rich, you confused. You from Alabama, sis? Look, you from the suburbs, not from the city. You from a big house, not from the trenches. I just enforce them, I don't make the rules. Say you from my hood, but you must be confused. Color Park is not Atlanta. Lithonia is not Atlanta. Claycoat is not Atlanta. Decatur is not Atlanta. Gwinnett is not Atlanta. Roswell is not Atlanta. Forest Park is not Atlanta. Lil Burnt is not Atlanta. Your mom's is not Atlanta. Your pops is not Atlanta. Your aunt is not Atlanta. Those shoes is not Atlanta. That fit is not Atlanta. Your clit is not Atlanta. Little bitch is not Atlanta. Not Atlanta.
Now, usually I would take a Pepto-Bismol break. Usually I would do that. But I'm not doing that this time. I'm not doing that this time. I'm not doing that this time because this is actually not a laughing matter. And I'm serious in what I'm saying. This is actually not a laughing matter. Now, I did some looking into this, and a lot of things I think came out here. Now, before I do anything else, I want to make sure that we're clear on a few things here about what's serious. Because when you see an act of dominance, someone attempting to assert an act of dominance, what do? They go and they walk in front of your strongholds. They walk in front of your institutions. They walk in front of the things that are specifically identified with you and as you. And then they start signifying in front of it. That's the point that I'm making here. when they start doing things like that. When you got your icons. When you have your icons. There's a reason when you start seeing this kind of signifying going on. When you have your icons. Your institutions. Yeah, it's supposed to seem like a joke, isn't it? It's supposed to seem like a joke. At least it's supposed to, right? And every time that this kind of thing here happens, it comes back even worse every time. These things are supposed to seem like a joke. Please remember, Machine Gun Kelly seemed like a joke. Remember Machine Gun Kelly seemed like one. Machine Gun Kelly seemed like one. Until it wasn't. Machine Gun Kelly seemed like a joke to a lot of people until it wasn't. And then it was. Then it wasn't a joke anymore. That's the point I'm trying to make to you. Everything is presented that way. You're supposed to laugh. You're supposed to ha-ha. And then it isn't. Now, to put this in context for you here, in reality, this is the way it's being presented to people, in case you weren't aware. Cat coming. But when you read on here, if you read it, hi, my name is Cat, and I am not Atlanta, but I am honored to bring you the character Raina Rain in Issa Rae's rap. Well, you can read the rest there, and in case there was any confusion about whether this is one of the same people, damn near snapped her ankle. Damn near snapped her ankle there. Now, I want you all to understand, it seems like a joke. I'm sure it probably does to some people. It seems like a joke. But is it? Folks don't play about this kind of thing. We're not supposed to play about this kind of thing. Now, there will be some folks who will take this lightly. There will be some people who will say, well, it's just a skit. I want you all to understand Jim Carrey was on In Living Color. How many of you remember Jim Carrey and how he started on In Living Color? Do you remember that? In Living Color made Jim Carrey into a household name, an icon. The world didn't have a clue who the hell he was before then. The world didn't know he existed before then. I think he had a bit part in one of Clint Eastwood's movies. I think it was The Deadpool. He was a drug addict in the movie. But the Wayans brothers saw something in him. The Wayans brothers saw something in him. And before it was over, the white machine had swept the Wayans brothers aside, and they had taken the white dude, the only white dude on the show, and next thing you know, they take him, and he's the icon. And yes, even Jennifer Lopez, one of your damn backup dancers up there, one of the fly girls, and next thing you know, the machine has gotten in there and helped your backup dancer and your backup help eclipse the black folk who brought them. It was our culture that created that. It was ours that created that. Well, Jason, you know you're taking it too seriously here. That's coon babble. Well, Jason, how in the world do you know that? You can't sit up here and say nothing like that, Jason. You take these things too seriously here. That's the problem right there, Jason. You take these things too seriously. See, if you was looking at it the right way here, you understands that things are different here, man. You can't be so serious about this kind of stuff. You can't be so serious about it. Jason, that's the problem right there. You're taking stuff too damn serious. You don't understand. You don't understand, Jason. She's just an actress, Jason. She's just an actress. What's there to be worried about? She's just an actress. How far could it actually go? She's just a minor TV personality. A minor TV personality. How far could a minor TV personality make it? Oh, maybe this far? A minor TV personality, a fringe TV personality. How far could it actually go? To all the idiots and clowns who have the memory of a gnat, remember just a few years ago we were laughing at Cardi B too, remember? A lot of the lead pipe and crack babies who sit up here and want to dismiss everything because you're a coward or you're just dumb or all the above. By the way, we were laughing at Cardi B just a few years ago, weren't we? Remember we were laughing about that. The chick from Love and Hip Hop or whatever the hell the damn show is? Man, get out of here. Get out of here. She ain't going. This is clown bait. Yeah, for those of you who want to say that, oh, she's just playing around and she's just a TV star, you can't take it seriously. For all the lead pipe babies who are still failing their second grade reading tests. By the way, we said the same thing about Cardi B, remember? She's just on TV. She has no rap credentials. And then when she came out, this is so obviously a shameless imposter and imitator. Remember? Yeah, that's what we said then too, damn it. Yeah, we've seen this movie before. Some of the ADHD toddlers still running around the internet and running around the room. Yeah, your small little pea brain has forgotten about this. We haven't forgotten about this. We already seen this before. We thought before that how far could it this is a joke. This is a game and a joke. How far could it possibly go? In the chat room, you're correct. Doja Cat. There's a never-ending stream of imposters that they're feeding into the pipeline. There's a never-ending stream of them that they're putting out there. And the reason for that is because they have to. The reason for that is because they have to now. You know why? Because for those of you who didn't know, Marshall Mathers, Eminem is 49. Eminem is now 49 years old. This October, he's gonna turn 50. And right now, they don't have a suitable white replacement anywhere in the pipeline. Eminem, the great white hope, is about to ride off into the sunset. They don't have a suitable replacement. Jack Harlow and Post Malone, please, those are DOA. They're dead on arrival. They need somebody who can be taken seriously. And they're going to be looking for somebody who either has street cred or they can introduce it to it or rub it off on them. Every time we turn around, this keeps happening. We keep falling for that. We keep telling ourselves that we're safe. Every time we turn around, we keep saying that. And that's the very problem that I have with this. Every time we turn around and it's time to protect our culture, next thing you know, folks start talking silly and stupid. They start talking silly and dumb. Remember this one? Well, Jason, if they're not from America, remember this Australian? How many of you remember this Australian that T.I. sat up here and legitimized? How many of you remember this Australian? And you figured that her career was over. The machine just waited a few years and to reintroduce her into the gene pool like toxic waste into a river. How many of you remember this non-American? Since apparently you think that borders will protect you, and I'm trying to make the point to you that borders will not protect you. So-called industries will not protect you. When they first bring her over and try to get her to cross over, it's going to be introduced as a joke. Yeah, everybody's laughing right now. All they got to do is put her with one serious music producer, and them niggas ain't hard to buy off. And next thing you know, this mess right here, you're laughing at it right now. It won't be so damn funny when she's standing next to T.I. or Timbaland or DJ Premier or whoever. It won't be so damn funny then. It'll be Cardi B all over again. And I'm telling you right now, I've got my eyes on this like a hawk. I'm taking what I'm seeing on your screen right now very seriously. This is very serious. If they can get away with this, if they're allowed to get away with this, Katie, bar the damn door. This is why it is essential to guard our culture. This is why it is essential to do that. And let me tell you where it is starting with being essential to do that. Where it's starting with being essential to guard our culture is to when we start talking about guarding the culture against culture vultures, you better start right here. Not with the white girls, but with the tethers and the pretendian black chicks. You better start here. When you discuss protecting the culture, you better start the conversation here. Who do you think brought the white girl in? Who do you think brought them in? Who do you think was the Trojan horse smuggling them in? You better be careful about that. The whole point of watching this is to understand that this is a mechanism now and they're attempting to reduce it to a formula. I'm just the guy trying to warn you. We've seen this before. And no less than HBO, by the way. Home box office here, I think now they're owned by Discovery Networks. No less than them. They are still going back to one of their reliables. If you'll all remember, almost a decade ago now, when I started on 7 a.m., you'll remember Issa Rae had her crowdfunding and Black Enterprise Magazine, no less than Black Enterprise Magazine, was singing her damn praises, remember? No less than Black Enterprise Magazine was singing her praises. Because she was able to raise $50,000. Black Enterprise Magazine held that up as being some paragon. This was some iconic moment because some chick on YouTube was able to raise $50,000 for her corny ass sketch comedy. We showed up a matter of months later and we blew the windows and the doors off of Issa Rae, and we raised more than twice that amount. And not only did we raise more than twice that amount, we raised it talking about black entrepreneurship. Who in their minds would have ever told you that if people had a choice between donating to some babbling bedwench talking about cooning and buffooning versus a documentary about black entrepreneurship, that the documentary about black entrepreneurship would crush them? Who would have ever thought that they would have you believe that black folks are all about shucking and jiving and bull jiving and playing around? You never would have believed that a documentary about black entrepreneurship would absolutely crush a YouTube effort about nigrous comedy. You'd never believe it, and yet that's what happened. The corporate machine wants you to believe that black folk really want to play around and bull jive around. They don't want you to believe otherwise. We've got the proof of it, the concrete evidence, and that's not what they're bringing you. They're not showing you that. They didn't tell you, so I had to tell you. But most of you, if not all of you, were there. Well, the newcomers, you weren't. But most of you were there when we did it. But guess who never called me? Black Enterprise Magazine. Black Enterprise Magazine knew who I was, but they were upset because a couple of years earlier, I wrote an open letter on Facebook explaining why I was canceling my subscription to Black Enterprise Magazine. I made the first and the only documentary about about black entrepreneurship and why we are the poorest people. I am the only one who did that. And you would think it was a no-brainer. You would think it was a no-brainer that they would contact me, and yet they didn't. Now, they sang the praises of Issa Rae, but they didn't contact us. So when we talk about guarding the culture, you got to start talking about guarding the culture from the inside out, not just from the outside in. You better talk about guarding the culture from the inside out, not simply from the outside in. That is not enough. That is not enough. These elements and these institutions and these entities are here to promote a line. They're here to promote a line. That's the issue. And right now they have been on a jihad to create the impression of what people actually want. They want to create an impression that the people only want one thing. And this is how you smuggle in all these carpetbaggers. This is how you smuggle them in. This is how you end up having a nonstop conversation about, my God, of all people, Machine Gun Kelly and Iggy Azalea. Is this a damn joke? Well, it's supposed to be, right up until it isn't. We have not done an adequate job of protecting and guarding our culture. And if we are unwilling to call out individuals who are trying to make $1 at selling our culture out, that's a problem. Because that's what the machine does now. That's the strategy now, is to go find some black flunky, hopefully of immigrant background, and see if you can use them for that. That is why it has been so important for us to make that distinction. Because when we start calling people out about these things, what happens is those Negroes possessed of the civil rights movement, buck dancing, bootlicking ideology are going to come shuffling and waddling themselves up to the front of the line with their walkers and their canes in tow, talking about we all needs to stick together. We needs to stick together. I don't have to stick together with this. I don't have to stick together with this. I don't take this as a joke. This isn't a joke to me. There is nothing about this that is funny or humorous to me because I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. I want you all to understand that. By the way, no less than the Shade Room. Shouldn't be surprising to anyone that no less than the Shade Room hard at work to make sure that the job gets done. Hard at work to make sure that the job gets done. No less than the Shade Room. Yeah, if you think this is isolated, if you think for a moment that this is isolated, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's not isolated. You don't sit up and see this kind of thing happening here and it's happening in a vacuum. There's too damn much money, too much production value, too much every damn thing. There's too much going on. And your children are going to be told these things are a joke. Here's the real issue. Think about this for a moment here. If you have kids who are 10 years old, they won't be watching Issa Rae's program. In 4 or 5 years, they'll bring this white woman back. In 4 or 5 years, they'll bring her back. By the way, one more thing. I want all of you to perform a little exercise for me right now. I want all of you to perform a little exercise for me right now. What I want you to do is I want you to go to Google. Go to the Google search engine. And what I want you to do is I want you to type in this name on your screen here. Raina Rain. I want you to type in that name. I want you to go to Google, type in this name, Raina Rain, REINA, REIGN, and then put the plus symbol and the words rising star. That's what I want you to do. We're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break, and that is you all's homework right now. I want you to go to Google, type in that name, Raina Rain, and then type in plus rising star. And I want you to see what comes back. If you think this is a joke, if you think this is new, if you think this is just a marketing campaign, if you think there's nothing to it, by the way, why don't you get educated about that real fast? We're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break while you all go ahead and do that. In the meantime here, I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here on PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. So thank you here to Mr. Bradford, Andrew L., everyone else here who has supported the program here tonight. We're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. This is The Black Channel.
Are you tired of being overcharged and forced into paying a monthly subscription for your Mac and Windows software? Well, if you are, currently we're having a 50% off discount on all the latest Mac and Windows software, such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Photoshop, Microsoft Office, and much more. Our 50% off discount will be ending soon. So be sure to text us "Need Software" to 323-407-8214. That's 323-407-8214. We aim to please, so expect 24/7 technical support, the latest premium software, instant software links delivered to your email, and PayPal's buyer's protection guarantee.
When you need a reliable influx of capital to grow your business, Spectre Capital Finance provides fast, individualized working capital loans with lines of credit to take your business to the next level. SpectreCapitalFinance.com.
Hey, I'm Marcus. For a while, I walked around with this empty feeling inside. I had a full-time job, but not in the field I wanted to be in. But then I came across this book where it was like, the title was just for me. Guide to Being Black in IT. I read the book and the author took me through scenarios and gave me tips. I sat down and read it and it only took an hour. After I got done, I took advice in the book, practiced in the labs, and got certified. Then I literally got up and applied for a position with this company I've been looking at for a while and got the job. Thanks to that book, I worked my job with confidence. If you're looking to get into IT or even in the field, now this is a must-read book. Go to www.beingblackinit.com.
I am black first. I am empowered. I am on code. I am motivated. I am a proud foundational. My name is Naria Sellers, and nothing will come between us. Buy the sci-fi novel, Nothing Will Come Between Us. Order today at Amazon and Google Play. Visit spiritofo1811publishing.com. Our story, our family.
Join 6zeros.net, a forum built to discuss all things relevant to black people. On our forum, a check doesn't mean you're famous. It means your blackness has been verified by our staff.
Sorry, Chad.
We also have premium merchandise with same-day shipping on most orders. And when you're ready for some dope content, check out the 0 Hour blog.
Don't you sign up, post.
I'm having a really good time with you tonight.
I'm having a good time with you too.
Want to go somewhere private? Just for us?
I like that.
Great. Meet me at 6zeros.net. Black owned, black operated.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening as we are discussing the necessity of guarding your culture. And judging by what I've seen in the chat room here in the time that I've gone to look things over, it seems there's a number of you who went there and you found out a whole bunch of things that you didn't think you were going to be able to. You didn't think you were going to see that now, did you? Yeah, You didn't think that's what you were going to see when you looked this up, because you see, if you do go look her up, you find out, oh, her name's Kat Cumming. Oh, she's just an actress. Oh, this is just a big old game. And then you go to Google and you Google her. I'm bringing you the character Raina Rain. Yeah, you Google that, and next thing you know, when you Google Raina Rain, it don't look like a bunch of jokes there when you take a look at that. Doesn't look like a bunch of jokes when you do that. Doesn't look like a bunch of jokes when you actually go there, huh? Yeah, for some of the slow bus kids. For some of the slow bus kids who are still chewing their crayons, yeah, you didn't know that's what you would find if you Google those words. Even if you Googled Raina Rain and came to Kat Cummings, did you know that if you sit up here and what's her name? Kat Cunning. Okay. By the way, she's pre-named for porn, but all right. But you didn't know that when looking like the damn Joker, no wonder they had to go make a whole new video for her, because it's like, okay, ma'am, you looking like the Joker over here. We could have done a bit better shooting this video. Why is it the Shade Room is involved in this? You understand? They got a Tether coalition. They got a Tether coalition going on here. So for the young black folks out there, understand something. There's a reason why you got to host slap some of these people when they sit up here endorsing these carpetbaggers. It was a shame. And it was disgraceful to have none other than Rakim sitting up here singing the praises of Eminem. It's like, dude, you're the guy we put at the top of the damn food chain. What the hell are you doing? Your so-called old icons, and they're not protecting the culture. So it falls to us to do so because they're not protecting it. The industry knows how easily these individuals are bought off. They understand how easily that's done. They get it. Most black folks sit up here, especially descendants of slaves. You sit up here and talking about we're going to defend these folks. And as soon as you start talking about FBA and rap music, here comes Busta Rhymes and the others holding the door open for literally everybody else. That's not accidental. It kind of explains to you how he got in, doesn't it? Oh, this is a brutal truth that we got to accept tonight. It's like, okay, that's your attitude about it. No wonder they let you in. Black folk went from being the guardians and the gatekeepers and the tastemakers to sitting up here hoping that DJ Khaled or some other sycophantic interloper who should be shining your shoes and carrying your luggage, now you're sitting up here going to them for approval, going to them for validation. You're trying to get their approval for something you built. That's why I'm telling you all, you might tell yourselves this is a joke, and you might try to ease your fear. You might try to comfort yourself by saying, oh, well, it's a joke. Nobody would possibly take this seriously. Nobody would possibly take this seriously. No one would do that. That couldn't possibly happen. And now it's happening on a damn conveyor belt. I'm sounding the alarm now. We thought that Cardi B was a joke. We thought, remember those of you who saw Machine Gun Kelly when he first came out, this scrawny dude right here, Are you serious? There's no way that this is real. There's absolutely no way that this is real or authentic. No way. And then you found out it was. We talk about guarding the culture here. We have to focus on where the enemies actually are and who the enemies actually are and have to call it out exactly the way it is. And I would love to sit up here and tell you that they are strictly of the immigrant class who don't have respect for what we built. But there's plenty of Negroes who come from foundational roots and do not respect it either. They're looking to trade on our culture. Well, Jason, what are they looking to trade on? The same damn thing these easily ball-off bootlicks have always wanted to trade on. Interracial sexual access. There's a reason why this white woman felt like she could sit up here and stand in front of Spelman College like this. There's a reason that she thought that. Because there would be plenty of dudes up here who will sit up here and be willing to sell out our culture to virtue signal to non-black females that, well, if all it costs me to go on an interracial sexual adventure is to sell out institutions, most of them wouldn't even be smart enough to even go. If that's all it costs me to, well, sign me up. I don't attend no Spelman, no way. Sign me up. If you discuss guarding your culture, there's a reason why you must guard it so vociferously. There's a reason why you must be so vigilant about it. Because there are a never-ending stream of individuals waiting to exploit it and take control of it. And I present this tonight to you as one example among many. And most people will attempt to dismiss this, disregard this. You disregard this at your own peril. I don't have to name off every single one they brought through. I don't have to name off the bad built bodies and the rest of them. I don't have to sit up here and do that. We're supposed to be at a point right now where it's like, oh no, everything is who goes there. We don't know you. No, we're not allowing anybody to smuggle in. We're not allowing anyone to smuggle in any more undercover operatives. We're not allowing that. That's what it means to guard your culture. You start on the inside, not the outside. Because that's what they're exploiting now. If they can buy somebody who looks like you off, oh, we can hold the door open. We have got to make it very, very clear that the first people we put on trial will be any collaborators. Those will be the first ones put on trial. However, some of you might disagree. Therefore, the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933, your personal access code to the Black Media. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here tonight on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat. So thank you very much here. JJo4040, Soldier Boy, and Charles Prince, and my man, Mr. Patterson, and everybody else who's contributed to the program on PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. Thank you very much for your support here tonight. When you have a whole lot of talk about things about the culture, there's a reason why on Twitter Space you've seen Luke from 2 Live Crew. And for those of you who heard my Twitter Space about Luke on 2 Live Crew there, when I brought up the fact that, hey, when you go taking a look back at these things, let's put it in its proper context. Yeah, I could say a lot of things, but the real point I want to make here is in its proper context. Are you dealing with individuals who actually have any say-so as far as what we're concerned, as far as we are concerned? You see, when the money runs out and they're living on bread and water, you find out what they really believe. If anybody's going to protect this, it's going to have to be us. Let me go ahead and take some phone calls. Let me get caller from area code 646. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Donald from Queens.
Onan from Queens, what's on your mind?
Yeah, Jason, you're so right about Black people needing to guard our culture, because you have so many other individuals that will have no problem taking our culture from us, whether it comes from Elvis Presley or Pat Boone stealing from rock and roll, or somebody like Eminem or whatnot. And listen, some of these artists, they're talented in their own right, so I'm not going to knock all of them. But honestly, Black people definitely got to do a better job in guarding their own culture. Because it's like we just leave it open to anybody.
Onan made it 80% of the way, right there at the 5-yard line. He fumbles the ball, and like I said, this is becoming a habit, Onan. This is becoming a habit.
Sure.
It's becoming a habit here. He got all the way to the 5-yard line, and next thing you know, he starts fumbling the ball. So, no, sir.
Where did I fumble at?
We don't have to give any caveats. We really don't. Because, you see, we don't say that kind of... When we're talking about Black folk, we don't use phrases like, well, they're talented in their own right. We don't do that. We don't do that. We don't have to give any validation of any sort whatsoever. Because once you make that statement, well, they are talented in their own right. Once you make that statement, you now have robbed, you don't have any grounds now to make any sort of counter argument to protect your culture. Let's try this a different way, because I got to keep reminding you all. Let me remind you all about the vocabulary of people who are used to and have a habit of protecting their culture. Let's talk about the Japanese. I have to remind you all of this. With the Japanese, when it comes to anime and manga, you got Black folks who draw in a manga style. There's at least 1 or 2 Black animators who are in Japan who actually do anime. And guess what? The Japanese anime studios and whatnot, Madhouse, Sony, and the rest of them, they don't recognize them cats. They don't recognize them cats. They don't sit up here and say, hey, attaboy. That doesn't happen. You don't get that kind of status among them. That doesn't occur. The best basketball players in the world are Black men. You don't get no shine in Japan, not in their rankings, not in Japanese baseball. You don't get no shine. Remember 20 or 25 years ago, there was a white dude. I think he was going to break the record over there. I want to say it was a white dude. And in Japanese baseball, he played in the Japanese baseball team. The Japanese pitcher kept throwing fouls. He kept throwing fouls and throwing balls so the fellow wouldn't be able to hit the ball. So basically wound up walking him. And that was cheered and applauded by the Japanese fans. That was cheered and applauded. Y'all got to get over this kind of idea here. Well, we're gonna treat everybody the same now. We want everybody to understand here. Ain't that we got a problem with it? No, I do have a problem with it. No, I do have a problem with that. Well, since when? Since they did. Nobody holds any doors open for us. The statement you just made, you can't get them to make that statement for you. Let me remind the bone. Be quiet. Let me remind the boneheaded children out there.
Right.
I remember when Aaliyah died, and if you all remember, Aaliyah died, and I remind you all about this before. They had to talk about it on the Tom Joyner Morning Show that when she died, the write-ups in newspapers and Variety and the rest of them, they were calling Aaliyah a rising star. Remember? They were calling Aaliyah a rising star. And we were saying, I'll be damned, how many times do you got to go platinum before you're actually a star in these trade publications? Mary J. Blige, the white publications and whatnot, they've never acknowledged her as a star. Jill Scott, We can go down the damn list. Keith Sweat and a bunch of other folk. Ronald Isley. White folks show up at the concerts, but the white media and white folk as a group, they don't acknowledge that man as the icon that he is. They treat them like a damn footnote while they're sitting up here at the concerts and waving their hands and sweating and swooning and passing out and fainting and every damn thing else. And yet they don't talk in those terms, sir. Let me remind you all of something else. I told you a decade ago, when they talk about white men, they talk about white men as sex symbols. Don't bring me no bull jive about Denzel Washington and sexiest man alive. I'm talking about in the average everyday article, the average everyday Twitter post, you don't see white women declaring Michael B. Jordan a sex symbol. He can be with all the white women he wants. White women don't use the word sex symbol, and your white trade publications don't use the word hunk. If y'all remember that, when they talk about a white man, no, he's all sexy, they use that word hunk. You ain't seen them use that word in relation to a black male. You don't hear that word used in reference to a black male, because what that is saying is, oh, he's invited to the cookout. Yeah, they don't invite us to the cookout. You all have to understand, these terms, when they talk to us, those terms come with damn qualifiers all over the damn place. And it's the year 2022, and you can't dispute it even now. I'm talking about things that I noticed and recognized 30 years ago. Because I was like, I know some bunch of white dudes. I'm like, well, let me see, because back then people wanted to challenge me about racism. So when I was doing my studying for it, okay, let me see the differences made. Couldn't help but notice the white men get referred to as a hunk. And then I noticed that there was a word used all the damn time. Burt Reynolds, David Hasselhoff, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hell, even Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. And then I noticed, well, these guys work with black men. Wesley Snipes ain't never been called no hunk. Denzel Washington's never been called a hunk. They call him handsome. They call him sophisticated. They call him debonair. They don't use a specific word that is communicated to white women to let them know, hey, he's one of the ones to desire. Those are code words. They don't use those words for black men. That's not accidental. Same thing with black women. They don't use those words with black women. It's hard as hell to get a white publication to use the word sexy and a black female. A biological black female. You go looking for it. These white publications do that few and damn me far between. And I'm talking about a white writer writing the article.
Yeah.
They don't introduce those kind of shoehorn terms and phrases you just used. They don't do that. No, we don't do that either.
Okay. Gotcha. Point taken. Well, I appreciate the advice. Thank you for taking my call. Have a good night.
Thank you for giving us a call here tonight. The reason why you have us here is to explain those things, because I'm giving you all the talking points, the analysis, and the historical insight necessary. I'm giving you the insight that is necessary so that you understand this historical context. Let me get caller from area code 803. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Silent D out of Atlanta, Georgia, originally from Columbia, South Carolina. How you doing?
Silent D out of Atlanta. Well, y'all have a new star, a new rap star in your city, so congratulations.
I do not claim her at all. I never heard of her until I saw you post that tweet from Amaretta. Which, let me go ahead and keep this brief because I got to get off the phone right quick. Yeah, we have to do a lot better in guarding our culture, and thank goodness for us in the new black media that we are making our voices more and more heard. They see us coming, and we're just not going to stop. And we definitely have to go after those that actually have the nerve to put clowns like whatever that Mayo heifer was. And who even had the nerve to even cornrow her hair? But anyways, that's all I have to say. We have to do a lot better in guarding our culture, minus the twerking and everything. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Thank you for another great broadcast. You stay blessed. Be one, King.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight here. Let me get caller from area code 330. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from area code 330. Last try. You're on live. Caller from 330 has been abducted. Caller from area code 919. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Okay, it sounds like folks here are not ready to talk to us here tonight, so I don't know what everybody is doing there, but in any case, understand something here. As black people, we don't start opening the door for other people. Soon as it's time for us to take a hard line, people start getting weak in the knees, and then they start equivocating, and then they start using soft talk. They start getting weak in the knees about it. So just recognize what you're seeing. We sit here and start getting weak in the knees. And when that occurs, now you're in trouble. See, everybody else doesn't have a problem holding a damn hard line. See, there's the problem with dealing with black folks is that so often no doesn't mean no. With everybody else, no means no, nigga, no. You talk to black folk and all of a sudden no doesn't actually mean no. So everybody starts pushing the damn envelope. That's how you get there. Caller from area code 904, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Sean, and I'm calling from Jacksonville, Florida.
Sean from Jacksonville, and what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just want to once again remind people of how, once again, an old Negro, Smokey Robinson, he co-signed that Jennifer Lopez thing she did with Motown. That made me so angry. I'm still angry. And that was, got to watch these old niggas. Have a good night.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 901. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, this is Catherine, calling from Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay, Catherine from Memphis.
Really,
what's on your mind?
Hi. Yes, this really goes along with what you spoke about last night. I know you didn't take any calls. I'm in Memphis, and on this Tuesday, they're having the National Bar Association. The black lawyers are having a convention. They're going to have a panel on reparations, and Sheila Jackson Lee is actually going to be on the panel, one of the people on the panel. And my question is, I just wanted some tips from you because I want to go and ask some questions and ask in particular why there has to be a study on reparations for us, but no one else gets a study. They just get their checks.
Okay, for everybody here, because like I say, when my people came there for James Clyburn fumbling the damn ball, we can't have that. Everybody needs to know it by now, and it's really embarrassing if it even needs to be explained. H.R. 40 is a study. You are correct. Asians didn't need a study for a hate crime bill. Asians didn't need a study for the government to cut the check. We want the exact same thing you gave the Asians. You didn't need a study for them. Why are you insulting us by saying you need a study for us? You didn't ask for one for them. That's really all you have to say. Why are you not insisting that the Asians must wait until a study is completed before you will do anything for them? That one sentence right there alone, if you really want the no sentence, I'm giving you the sentence right now. Why is it you're not insisting that the Asians need to wait for a study to be completed before we'll do anything for them?
Thank you. That was going to be my question. I just wanted to make sure. I know they're going to come with some bull, but I am going to ask that question. If I'm able to get in and I can get in line or whatever it is that they allow you to take, even if they don't take questions, I may just get up there and ask anyway. So thank you so much for your advice, because like you say, I don't want to drop the ball. I want to ask.
Let me find
right
out
thing.
here. You say it's the National Association of Black Journalists?
Black
I'm sorry,
attorneys.
black attorneys. I'm
It's
sorry.
the National Bar Association.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, if it was black
And it's
journalists,
this
I
Tuesday.
know Roland might come through there with a pack of donuts. So, like I say, if that's one thing. For the Black Bar Association, I've never been to one of their events before outright. But if it's going, where exactly is it happening at?
It's happening at the Renaissance Center, which is our convention center in Memphis, Tennessee. And it used to be called the Cook Convention Center, but it's the Renaissance Center now downtown Memphis. And so it's from 9 in the morning until 11 on this Tuesday. So I plan on going and asking that question with the panel. I can send you the link if you want to the news story. I think Tariq actually tweeted it. And when I saw that it was in Memphis, and then I saw that she was on the panel, and in the news story they say that she's going to be talking about the HR 40. That is what really kind of got me going, and because I said, okay, well, this is my opportunity to questions.
Well, certainly, I want all of y'all to have your places in the place, whether they give you a microphone or not. No, we're not here to ask politely about that. We need to start disrupting events. Our survival is not up for a vote. So if Sheila Jackson Lee is there and wants to talk about reparations, no, she needs to be required to address that. This isn't optional. So right now, I don't know how many of you are in my Memphis area. I got some of my Memphis heads up there. I want y'all, if that's going down, I want you to have your face in the place. Cameras up. I want you to face in the place, cameras up, and let's go ahead and run up, and it's time to pull up. To my folks up there in Memphis, Nashville, wherever. Memphis, West Memphis, hell, Little Rock. My folks in Little Rock, Arkansas, wherever you're at, I need y'all to pull up.
Please, and I'm Catherine with the K, Larsha, Larsha, on Facebook and also on Twitter and here on YouTube. So if you want to call me or message me and contact me to meet up with me, that's fine. Or we just show up there. It starts at 9 a.m. this Tuesday at the Renaissance Center, which is the old Cook Convention Center downtown Memphis.
All right, well, you can go ahead and email me that information. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. And definitely, like I say, if that's going down, I want you all to go ahead and, my folks there in Memphis, I want you to pull up, cams up. Pull up, cams out. Let's go ahead and do that. So Memphis, Little Rock, Nashville. Let's go ahead and see what's happening. Let's go ahead and see what's happening. If Sheila Jackson Lee is going to be there, you all should know it by now. Hey, why are you trying to pull a con job with a study? Why are you trying to make us wait for a study? Why you didn't make the Asians wait for a study? Why didn't you make them wait for a study? We want the same thing that you giving the Asians, the Ukrainians, the illegals, and everybody else. You didn't make the Ukrainians wait for a study, an environmental impact study. Can we afford it? How can it be done? Who qualifies? You didn't make them wait for a study. You didn't make the illegals wait for a study, and they're not even citizens. You're not saying that. You didn't make the LGBT wait for a study. Y'all just started cutting checks. Folks, come on now. We cannot be this incompetent. You hear me all the time, every day. You should have all of this memorized. In the chat room, correct. I mean, you basically can name everybody else. The Ukrainians, the Afghans, the LGBT, the Asians, the illegal aliens. We can basically name every damn body except us. Why is it that you're not making the Ukrainians, the Afghans, the Asians, the LGBT wait for a study before you cut a check? You can go ahead and cut them a check. I'm just saying, why did you not make them wait for a study? Don't you want to make sure you've crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's, for us, it requires a study. You didn't make them wait. Why did you not tell them that they got to wait for a study too? And no matter what, if she tries to say, well, it didn't require a study because of X, Y, Z or whatever, just tell them, no, it does require a study for that. You can't be sure until you've done a study for it. Whatever she tries to say is the excuse. You can't be sure until then. You don't know who's Afghan and who isn't. You might be bringing over members of the Taliban. You need to do a study. You can't just cut the check to Ukrainians. There might be Nazis among them. There might be Russian soldiers. You can't bring them over until you do a study. No matter what the answer is, it's like, hey, you can't be sure until there's a study done. You know how we know? Because you told us that you can't do anything for us and be sure about it until after there's a study done. You all got to learn this, to just repeat the words I'm giving you. Just play tonight's program over 10 or 12 times and repeat the words I'm giving you. Why is it you didn't make the Ukrainians, the Asians, LGBT, and everybody else wait for a study before you cut the check? Well, we didn't have to really wait for the LGBT. They said no, you can't be sure about any of that. Why did you do a study to make sure of that? Because you're telling us we got to have a study done on us before you can be sure. Because remember, they are questioning whether or not we're supposed to get anything at all. They're not questioning how much we're going to get this. We need to do a study to determine if you should even get anything. Hello? Nobody else needs to have a study done. It's cut checks flying. And it's our damn money. Caller from area code 910. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Marcus, calling from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Marcus from Fayetteville, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I'll go back to what we were talking about earlier. It's always we really haven't guarded our culture in regards to the music industry. We had our great icons like Curtis Mayfield. He's not being recognized. You know what I'm saying, like he should. But a lot of his music's being sampled, and I think it goes back to what you were saying last night about the civil rights generation wanting the interracial access and all that mess. And so if you go back even to the 80s, Tina Marie, great singer, but she was able to work her way into the actual culture, or the Beastie Boys. You can go back a little bit further, that ridiculous rap group. They only had a one hit wonder or something like that. And so we've never really have protected our culture. And, people like Busta Rhymes say that they created the hip hop culture and all this mess. And after we gave them a door, a way in, and then they turned their ass up at us. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of wanted to make it short, but I kind of agree with what you were saying earlier. We got to be able to protect our culture a little bit better, but we have not been doing it. And it all started with that civil rights generation. Thank you for the call.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. In some ways, it happened before then. To be totally honest, in some ways, it happened before then. I'm reminded of Jack Johnson. Every time we turn around, we have an opportunity to display to the world our value in ourselves. And next thing you know, they have a mascot who stands up and starts speaking against our interests. That's the problem. We have too many folk here who the first thing they start doing is marketing everything else. So those are serious missteps being made. Caller from area code 319. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how's it going, Jason? This is Adonis from Des Moines, Iowa.
Adonis from Des Moines. What's on your mind?
Not a lot. I just want to say, I've been in B1 boot camp since like 2015, and the way that I approach listening to Jason Black is, what he tells me I take as fact until it's proven wrong, and it's never been proven wrong ever. But all I want to say is I am a musician. I'm not a famous musician or anything like that. I just play in little clubs and whatnot. But one thing that I noticed in my town is, I grew up around a lot of white people. I'm here in Iowa, One thing I noticed when I first got there, they were putting me down, and then slowly they started to steal things that I would do because I would play guitar in a way that was unique, and that's what these people do, man. And I think about Chuck Berry and all these guys where they locked him up and let Elvis completely take his style, and crown Elvis this king of rock and roll. And then Michael Jackson came along. You can't be the king of rock and roll. You're the prince of pop or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But all I really want to say is, that's what they do. And I'm going to try to tie the last two calls up real quick, and I'll let you go. But they talk about interracial marriage and all this stuff and segregation and all this. But really what it is it's these white folks. Because they used to sneak into our part of town, check out what we were doing in our clubs, and take that back to wherever they went. And they're talking right now about something about ending interracial marriage, or the Republicans are threatening this bill, and I think that's a good thing, because the majority going to be a lot of these white folks that's going to lose their mind, because it's them coming to us, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that reparations, all that all needs to be tied into there, from Thomas Edison stealing all his ideas from black folks to these people stealing our music, locking us up, and cutting us out of our own thing. So that's all I really want to say, man. Have a good day, B1.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 917. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Coco Got Boss from New York.
Okay, what was your name again?
I'm Coco Got Boss. I'm Locke, man.
Okay, on
Hey,
Locke.
nice to meet you, sir.
Which borough are you calling from?
From the Bronx, sir.
All right, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just want to talk about, you mentioned earlier about the player in Japan that was, they didn't pitch to him. That was a black man. Name was Tuffy Rhodes. And I think it happened not only once, but I think it happened twice. And the guy it happened to before that was Larry Bryan, I believe, and he was also black. And it was the Japanese guy was Sadaharu O, and he was, the record-holding Japanese player in Japan, and it's like they didn't want to pitch to Tuffy Rhodes, man, and he was like the home run king. I was in Japan, as a matter of fact, at the time when it happened to Tuffy Rhodes. So it was, it made big news. So
I won't.
Well.
Before you go any further, I won't dispute your statement, because I can't dispute it. I'm not a sports fan, certainly not a Japanese sports fan.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm the last person who's going to dispute a word you're saying. However,
yes, sir.
If memory serves me correctly, I remember that happening to a white dude. I'm not saying that your version did not occur. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if my memory serves me correctly, I remember it happening to a white fella. Now, if I'm in error, then I'm in error, because it has been a couple of decades. So I remember the event. Some of the details are a bit dim at this point. So this is not a hill I'm going to die on by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not doing that. What I will say is that what that does confirm, either which way, by the way, even if one of us is right or both of us are right, what it does confirm is that's not a one-off. It's not a fluke. It's not somebody had a bad day. This wasn't just one game.
Yeah.
These the rules. These the rules. Hey, white folk, you can't say the N-word. Why not? These the rules. As the comedian Alonzo said, these the rules. So when you go over there amongst these other people, these the rules. In Jewish society, these the rules. Italians, these the rules. Well, next thing you know, with black folk, ain't no damn rules. No, damn that. But go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's true. Matter of fact, Japanese people are very coded up. And one more thing I just wanted to also add about Rakim, and I lost a lot of respect for that rapper, man, when he accredited Eminem as Ali of rap or whatever that was. I really wasn't too cool with that. And and I'm not trying to take no stabs at nobody, because but the thing is, I think that a lot of non-American black people be considering Eminem to be real good without being, I'd say, fully qualified to talk about the music that comes from this culture. So it's like me going to like Puerto Rico or whatever and telling them, oh yeah, well, you know what, this don't sound like the real, this don't sound like the real salsa to me, or going to Dominican and be like, nah, whatever. And last thing, sir, I want to say is that, there was this brother named is Jero, and he sang Enka in Japan, and nobody in Japan considered him to be the best, even though he was, good. He was a black dude. He had like a Japanese grandmother, but to us, he's black, right? So yeah, and I want to land my plane right there. I really like your show. Thank you, sir, for letting me speak tonight.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here. Please do give us a call again. And like I say, definitely, just to show you there, these are not one-offs. These are not flukes. That's the thing I want folk to understand. These are not one-offs, and these are not flukes. Let me get caller from area code 323. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, good evening, Big Brother Jason. This is Brother Elijah calling out of Valley Stream, New York.
All right, Elijah out of the Valley Stream. What's on your mind?
Hey, Big Brother, there is a reason why I give you the highest praise all the time, because you touch on a very serious topic. If I'm correct, I remember you was doing a interview. I think this was back in 2018. I think after your gentrified documentary came out, and you was talking about they're not just gentrifying. If I'm correct, they're not just gentrifying us in the neighborhoods. They're gentrifying us in the schools, the jobs we work at. And to add to your point, what you just said, you mentioned Jennifer Lopez and Jim Carrey, and they skipped over the Wayans brothers. Kim Coles, who's a former actress on the show In Living Color, she brought the point out that ties in with your point, that Fox brought in all these black shows just to kick them out, and then now there's completely no black sitcoms on Fox. It's all white now. And this is what you was talking about, how they would gentrify us everywhere.
Yeah, it's not accidental. They use us to build up their economic base, their economic foundation. They use us to get them hot because we can take limited budgets to make big things happen. And then once they got their paper up, they use us to get their paper up. And as soon as the paper is solid, then all of a sudden we get swept out the door, never to be seen again. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 919. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from area code 919. Last try. You're on live.
So good evening, brother.
Okay. Put the crack pipe down. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You said put the crack pipe down?
Yes, sir. Put the crack pipe down or take your hands off your mama's rear end. Whatever you were doing while we were calling your name, sir. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, first and foremost, my name is Jay. I'm calling from South Carolina.
Hello, Jay from South Carolina. Where at in South Carolina, Jay?
I'm not going to be too specific because we really got to be careful about names and locations because...
Caller from area code 516. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi there. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Laura, and I'm calling from Long Island, Nassau County in New York State.
Well, thank you for making that distinction, by the way, because folks who don't live in New York City don't understand that I think Long Island is split into 2 counties, so she's repping the right with the county she lives in. That's why she's making that distinction. All right, what's on your mind?
Well, first
and by the way,
I'd
turn
like
off your speakers. You have me playing behind you.
In regards to
turn off your speakers. Last time, turn off your speakers. You have me echoing behind you. Turn off your speaker.
I'm so sorry about that.
All right, Aunt Gladys.
In regards to reparations, number one, it's a business practice. Whenever they plan on not doing something for anybody, they put it in a committee, a research, a study. So as far as reparation, Clyburn from, I think it's South Carolina, in the Charleston area. Okay, for 30 years, and those were words out of his mouth that he has been advocating for reparations. There's no plan, okay? Number two, in regards to the young lady, and I'm being polite because that's how I am, who is basically whoring, prostituting herself, trying to get over for what reason? She wants to make the money. So she'll claim to be in, quote, the know, all right? Keep in mind, Puff Diddy or Puff Daddy or whatever, he changed his name, but he himself was a vehicle that carried along Jennifer Lopez. And once she got out of Living Color and once she started doing what she was doing and he carried her along, that was it. You know what she has gone on to. She's making a great deal more money than he. Okay? And lastly, I would say this. As far as folks stealing our culture, stealing what we create, it was a black woman who made the first blues recording, okay, who in essence started the recording industry. So what am I saying? We need to educate our young people to know who they are and respect the struggle that they came from, and above all, continue to struggle. Why? Because you will find out if the youth do not know, and I'm not a young chicken, okay? I'm in my 70s. And ever since I was 16 years old, and I can tell you the books that I read that changed my mind, okay? And the billy clubs that whisked past my head on marches, but I'm still on the battlefield. Teach the youth who they are so that they can grow up and be the soldiers that we need. I thank you. And I refer young people, I refer old folks, I refer people to try to listen in, be tuned into what you say, because what you say is so pertinent for our survival. We don't want our people to continue to be used in this 21st century. Look at the continent of Africa. Who is dominating? Who is cutting it up again?
Well, the same folks who allow them to do that. That's the thing for us to learn about that. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight here. Let me get caller from area code 618. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Jason. This is Miriam calling from East St. Louis, Illinois.
Okay, is that
okay?
Your volume went low when you said your name. What was your name again?
Miriam calling from East St. Louis, Illinois.
Okay, Miriam from East St. Louis. What's on your mind?
Sure. Where to begin? Number one, these interlopers, tethers, culture vultures, they are very sickening and trying to be to our detriment. They are simply appropriating our culture and don't give a damn because it's all about the money. While they sit on the sidelines and pocket watch us and blame us for any and everything, but yet all of their deviant behavior is appreciated and pushed forward by white supremacy, as well as the other tether class. For those brothers and sisters who are with us in the diaspora, this does not apply to you. We're calling out all of the coons who are FBA people, as well as those who are tethers. It's time to stop the foolishness, to stop these cave wenches from coming in and thinking if they halfway offbeat shake their asses that they are really doing something. And all of these black men as well as these black women, mainly of the tether class, who think that sexual inclusion is the way to push forward while nothing else gets done. And our black men and children, as well as women, are dying in the streets every day because we have these race soldiers, as well as these ignorant-ass tethers who come over here and get a leg up because of our blood, sweat, and tears, and us marching.
Well, you make a very good point about that, as a matter of fact, because there's a very good point there. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. I want you all to understand something. You take a look at this video here. You got this white girl standing in front of a bunch of black females here. You notice this white girl in front of a bunch of black females. Who brought her? Who brought her? Think about that for just a few moments. Who brought her? And take a look at where they placed them Now, when Issa Rae wants to make a program here and portray black women and sit up here and talk about Atlanta, when Issa the immigrant wants to talk about black folk and our culture as foundationals, you take a look at what she does. This is the way she portrays us. Now, is she going to do a Nigerian version of this? Is HBO going to put money behind the Nigerian version of this? Is HBO going to say, hey, by the way, why don't we go ahead and show a strictly Nigerian group here and show that this is what's happening to them? See, they give Issa Rae a budget. These multi-billion-dollar corporations, they sit up here and give her a big budget and because they know what she gonna do with the money. They know what she gonna do with it. As a matter of fact, I will go beyond saying that they know what she's gonna do with it. They know what she's gonna do with it because they know what they told her to do. Okay, this is the kind of show we want to see. This is what it's gonna be about. Heh heh heh. Now we just need to go find a willing accomplice to be the black front person. And by the way, they got another female that they named who's supposed to be show running it, another black female. So they've got their operatives in there. They've got their operatives in there, and these corporations say, okay, this is the kind of show we want to see. This is what the subject matter is going to be. And if we're going to put this kind of money into it, we're not going to let you do it. The first time, okay, you showed us that you're willing to play ball on whatever level. This time, yeah, we got a different idea. We got a young white female that we're setting up. And she's going to use your show as her vehicle. That was why I started off the program reminding you all about Jim Carrey. At best, they're going to take this cat cunning chick. At best, they're going to take her and use her to use Issa Rae's show so the white chick has a vehicle to ride to stardom. That is at best. At worst, you're looking at the next Cardi B. And no, I'm not joking and I'm not kidding. I'm not being facetious at all. I meant it exactly the way I said it. And if you think about it for a moment and you're honest with yourself, you can see that all the tools and all the pieces are already in place. When you think about it, all the pieces are already in place. In reality, it's already there. All they have to do now is use it. And Issa Rae will be right there cheerleading it. She'll be sitting up there talking about how glad she is and how proud she was that she was able to help them do it. So to give you the 720 degrees of analysis you'll receive nowhere else, there's a reason why this matters. There's a reason. It's all part of the playbook. Call from area code 202. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Black First, Jason, LeVar from D.C.
LeVar from D.C., what's on your mind?
Jason, I just recently wrote a song with a brother from Minnesota called Gentrified, yes, in honor of you, about how actually this is blackface without the makeup. This is just the minstrel show, and how they're gentrifying our music the same way they're doing our neighborhoods by putting plants like Jack Harlow and now this female here for your entertainment. And like you said, whose idea was it to use this person and then use Issa Rae as the front? They're going to put a lot of money behind this person, and it's our job to protect our culture and make sure it flops. That's all I got to say, Jason. Black First, bro.
Black First, brother, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get calling from area code 860. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, good evening, Jason. This is Mike from Hartford, Connecticut.
Mike from Hartford, what's on your mind?
Important topic. You really tapped into something. I was watching TV. Well, I wasn't watching TV. I was cleaning up my house, and I just put a channel on, and it was doing marathons of the show Dateline. And to your point earlier about the People magazine and the most sexiest man alive and all that crazy stuff, what I realized with that show is every show would start out with them reinforcing for 5 minutes how beautiful the victim was. And lo and behold, every single one of the victims was a white blonde-haired woman. Yet the one or two black women that were victims in these shows, they never talked about how pretty or beautiful she was or anything. But my point is, what you've tapped into
Very good
I
point.
think they are self-conscious. Yeah, I think they're self-conscious. I think they realize they have to reinforce these narratives, because they know it's not true at the end of the day. And since they have the power in media, they can they're able to do this. They're able to try and reinforce and do some kind of mental programming with everyone that they are the beauty standard, and it's a big lie. But thank you for the topic tonight. Good program.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. He makes a very excellent point. For those of you who remember JonBenet Ramsey, and that was actually very uncomfortable because they kept talking about child beauty queen. She was so beautiful. That was actually very uncomfortable for a lot of us back in the 90s when they were talking about JonBenet Ramsey. Remember that? That was uncomfortable then. Very uncomfortable. But yeah, every time you turn around, remember Lacey Peterson. JonBenet Ramsey, Lacey Peterson. Who was the chick who they accused? Who was the chick in Florida who they accused of killing the kid? She was the nanny. And they were talking about her all the time. Talking about how beautiful she was or how cute she was. Remember her? Name escapes me off the top of my head. Remember, she was put on trial. There was like one of the kids or whatever. Yeah, every time you turn around, if a white woman is arrested or something, folks start talking about how pretty she is, how cute she is. If she gets murdered, if she gets killed or arrested. If she gets killed or arrested. Absolutely. They make sure you know that. Casey Anthony, that was her. Casey Anthony. Remember, they were talking about how pretty she was, remember? Oh, I'm sorry, let me go even further. Speaking of killers in Florida, remember, what was his name? Serial killer. It was the serial killer. Oh boy, there's been so many of them, I guess that doesn't narrow it down. Ted Bundy. Remember him? Remember Ted Bundy, anybody? Remember what they were saying about him? Oh, he was so handsome. That's how he was able to lure the females in. A damn serial killer. And the media, the news networks talking about how good looking he was. That was them saying that. Go take a look at the early pictures of Ted Bundy when he was out there chopping chicks up left and right. And the media was describing how handsome he was. We can go down the damn list. We can go down the list. When they refer to black people, they talk all of it. He's heinous, killer, evil, monster, thug. White women, she's in the bathroom right now drowning the kids. And they're talking about how cute and pretty she is. She's in there throwing the children in a microwave as we speak, and they're talking about how pretty she is. Caller from area code 443, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, this is Immigrant B1. I'm calling from Augusta in Georgia.
All right, Immigrant B1, what's on your mind?
So, forgive me if you answered this question already, but in practice, what will it look like to protect the FBA culture, especially the music from immigrants, especially the black ones?
Okay, well, first of all, is about protecting the culture, period, here. So as foundationals, you have to understand, I explained this during my Twitter space here last week when I was talking about Luke and those folk there. This comes from our unique, before you can protect it, you must understand what you are protecting and why. If we're talking about our music culture, for example, I'll start there, but it goes well beyond that. These are the products of not just our ingenuity, but our unique experience. Rap music wasn't something that was made during slavery. You can't sit up here and do that. But rap is the music of resistance. That's why it has a different attitude. Heavy metal is the music of rebellion. There is a difference between a person who is trying to rebel and a person who is resisting. Immediately you understand the difference between those two terms. There's a difference between a person who is attempting to rebel and a person who is attempting to resist. And these are outgrowths of our resistance. It is also an outgrowth of the fact that it's an expression of our personalities. We have a dominant culture as evidenced by the facts of what we've done. We have a dominant culture. When you take a look at white men tap dancing, yes, I said tap dancing. You take a look at white men tap dancing and black men tap dancing. You can't compare the two. It's dominant. When you take a look at the Olympics, remember what they said about FloJo, that she ran so strong. It was so strong, but you see the same damn thing. When black women are running and white women are running, you can see the damn difference. We have a dominance about us. Particularly as foundational people, we have a dominance in everything we do. So our music, our food, our dress, our speech, our innovations, what we focus on, our creativity, all of that is an outgrowth of that. So before you can protect something, you have to understand what it is you're protecting. Slavery didn't give us a spirit of survival. Our spirit of survival got us through slavery. And then in the efforts to come later here, don't let somebody sit up here and try to tell you that we learned all that during slavery. No, sir. So first and foremost, understand what you're protecting is a legacy of dominance, a culture of dominance. Also a culture of being comfortable in our own skin. Slavery was intended to make us completely uncomfortable. By the way, for anybody, I'm giving you all a taste of a crash course here of understanding all these facets before somebody sits up here and tries to define our culture for us and tell you that slavery, that it was coping mechanisms. I had to send one dude on Twitter, one immigrant tether packing, because he tried to say that black foundationals don't have a culture. They have coping mechanisms from slavery. You can't say that that's a coping mechanism. Slavery's entire intent was to make us uncomfortable with our being. And it succeeded in many ways when you take a look at the way certain folks did their hair and their mannerisms. And yet the dominant culture amongst us is one that's rejected those for the most part. We are comfortable in our skin. We are defined specifically because we did not mimic white folk. You see, a coping mechanism would have been imitating them as much as you possibly could, but ours keeps tracking away into something that nobody has done before. So that's what you're protecting. Now you know what it is you're protecting. You know why you're protecting it. So how do you protect it? First and foremost, like anything else, what allows people to intrude on your space? You accepting it. Protecting our culture is not going to come from the top down. Let me remind you all, you go and take a look at this. This right here on your screen is the kiss of death. 4 million views on Twitter. Folks are already galvanized and looking. Folks are already rallying. Already. You don't get 4 million views because people don't see what's up. You get 4 million views because people can see what's going on. So understand what it looks like. I get asked this question by folks who are not understanding what resistance against this looks like. Resistance is something that happens between your ears. I know it seems minor. I know it seems minor, but understand something. If I can get you to do something as simple as to disregard what you're seeing in front of you, disregard it as a joke, laugh it off. Why do you think the white supremacists keep doing that? Every time they keep introducing it in the form of a joke. Oh, it's minor, nothing to worry about, nothing to see here. Planned Parenthood clinic, don't worry about it, no problem, nothing to see here. Confederate flag billboard, oh, no problem, nothing to see here. Every time you turn around, they keep trying to minimize it. If I can colonize your mind, I got everything else. If I can get you to look at this and laugh it off and accept it, then I've got you where I want you. But if you see this and you begin resisting, yeah, I'm not going to watch Issa Rae's program. We ain't going to do that. Oh, hell. Yeah, I don't give a damn about Rainer Rat. No, we ain't fooling with this. Oh, hell. Whatever the big plans are, speaking about this is what makes the difference. Their job is to make you believe that you're not being heard. YouTube took down my video last week about speaking in our own voice, but that was the whole point. Their job is to try to convince you that you're not being heard, that nobody's listening to you, that it's okay whatever they do because nobody's listening. So, but what they're doing is playing a mind trick on you. They are painfully aware of what's going on. HBO, you don't sit up here and spend the money they spend on Issa Rae's program and you're not aware of this right here. They're painfully aware. They want to see, can you really see what's happening and what's really going on? Can you see how far this can go? So what I'm telling you is just us sitting here right now doing what we're doing, which is spreading the word. Hey, there's trouble coming. Hey, there's something going on here. Hey, they're getting ready to run another con job. Let me pull your coat. These things can only succeed if nobody's looking. I know it might seem like what we're doing right now is very minor. Let me be very, very clear to you. It ain't minor. Don't believe me. Ask them. Don't believe me. Ask them. Us getting on code. What does getting on code mean? It means agreement. It means of one mind. So all of us being aware of this, talking about this video, tonight's program here is going to get tens and tens of thousands of views. That's the kind of thing that does that. I'm bringing you all here so that we can hold camp and hold a war council to discuss, hey, we found a new threat circulating out here. So that the discussion goes in a specific direction. And I submit to you all that when you take a look at these things, understand something. Look, this was probably the biggest response that got on there when it says, not in front of an HBCU, I can't. Take a look at that. 14,000 likes on that one. 14,000 likes. That was the takeaway. And there were other posts with other people who were saying the same thing. Stop loading it there. But there were other folks with other people who were saying the same thing. This was the takeaway. No, we see this for the insult that it is. We see it for the insult that it is, and the people are speaking and the numbers are speaking. This didn't go over nearly as well. You have to understand, Issa Rae is okay with mocking Spellman. And yes, I understand that Spellman's kind of turned itself into a joke of its own for the longest time. But the point here is not Spellman. Issa Rae's not dumb. HBO's not dumb. Spellman is like Black Lives Matter. It's a metaphor for all of us. It's a metaphor for foundationals in our culture. It's a metaphor for the descendants of slaves and the experience we've been through. It's a metaphor for us. So the real question is, can we do this and what type of reaction are we gonna get? So I know what you're thinking. What you're thinking is, okay, what more do we need to do about that? This isn't about marching and protesting. This isn't about letter writing campaigns. The way you diffuse this, the way that you do this is resistance like we're doing right now and getting everybody on code. You see, this video was posted here 4 days ago. And it's all good if the conversation and discussion about it stops within 48 hours. That's all good. It ain't good when it's 4 days later and folks are still hammering on it. That's showing you that this has a long tail. That's showing you that people are taking grievous exception to what they've seen. And then when we're putting it in its proper context, something that's not really being done everywhere else, do not, everyone here, do not discount it. The whole point of what we're doing tonight is to get on code. This is not a minor thing, brother. If you think us getting on code is a minor thing, please tell us why they shut down YouTube channels, yank down videos, and close your Twitter accounts. If it's a minor thing, if it's irrelevant, if it doesn't matter, if it doesn't change anything, then explain to me why in the hell they keep doing it. If what we're saying doesn't matter. If we're irrelevant, if it doesn't cause any change or disrupt anything, then why do they keep responding so vigorously when we do? Understand something, folks. When I pulled up my video about the Black News Channel there, YouTube took it down talking about hate speech. How the hell can I be guilty of hate speech against the Black News Channel? I am the Black News Channel. They're letting you know, hey, them body blows got through. Them body blows got through. Jason, what do we do about these things? Kamala Harris, did I organize a letter writing campaign? Did I organize marching and protesting? Did I do any of that? Hell no. I got here, got on media, the word spread around. Next thing you know, there was a video with 150,000 views telling people that Kamala Harris, why black folk are not going to vote for Kamala Harris. Number 3 video on YouTube with a bullet. So, Jason, how do we stop these things? Brother, I'll show you exactly how we stop it. I will stop it with one question. Do you agree with what you have heard us say here tonight about this?
Yes.
Then I find it very difficult to believe that you're going to tune in to the show, their show on HBO, that you are going to co-sign their rhetoric, or that you are now or in the future going to be a customer of Miss Raina Rain. Would that be fair to say?
No. Yeah, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not watching that. I'm not listening to that.
Then congratulations. That's the power of being on code. Stop telling yourself that you don't matter. Stop telling yourself that your acceptance or resistance to it is irrelevant. Stop telling yourself that. This is how they get folk to go along with it, by making them believe, hey, it doesn't matter if I like it or if I don't. I don't matter. I'm irrelevant. That's what they want you to believe. And when you do that, what have you done? The most important thing that white supremacy needs. If you're not going to work for us, at least you're not working against us. And as long as you're not, if you're not going to come support it, well, as long as you're not fighting it, we'll take that. We'll accept that. At least you're not fighting us. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. I want all of you to understand here. I didn't sit up here and organize marches and protests in Dallas when Amber Geiger killed Botham Jean. I didn't do that. I organized people here. I got the word out. And before she even got on trial, I bought billboards in Dallas, Texas on the biggest thoroughfares there to get the message out. The local media outlets saw it. Some of them called me for interviews and then didn't want to talk to me anymore. That's the way that usually goes. In Atlanta, same thing happens. Media outlets will contact me and then all of a sudden they don't want to talk anymore. Was it something I said? Was it something I said? They want all of you to believe that you don't matter. They want you to believe that something as simple as us coming into agreement. Do you understand how hard it is to get 10,000 black folk to agree on any damn thing? People, do you understand what a monumental effort it takes to get 10,000 black people to agree on anything? anything at all. Do you know how damn hard that is? You talking like that's easy. Do you know how hard that is? Now, do you know how hard it is to get hundreds of thousands and possibly millions of black folk to agree? 14,000 to agree. The first thing you would say is, yeah, we don't agree on nothing. Well, guess what? We found something we agree on. They would have you see, the only way you can neutralize that is by saying, well, it doesn't matter if you agree with it. It's just a joke. So you're all agreeing about the joke. She doesn't matter. This is just a show. It doesn't matter if you agree with that. Okay. We're agreeing that this is off code and this is against our culture. Now we do agree on that. And all of a sudden, the folks who want you to laugh about it, they ain't liking this. Oh, they're going to try to keep a stiff upper lip and try to keep on the game face, but they're not going to like this. Caller from area code 646. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, it's Kirk from Manhattan. How are you?
Kirk from Manhattan. What's on your mind?
Yeah, first, great broadcast as always. I just wanted to make an additional point to the Japanese baseball player that you referenced earlier. So I'm familiar with that just because I read about it a few years ago, and it kind of ties into the theme of the show. So the player is objectively one of the best home run hitters in the history of Japanese baseball. And the reason I'm familiar with that story is because they won't let him in the Hall of Fame over there. And I mean, they're so on code that they won't let a foreign player in the Hall of Fame. That's how hardcore they are about defending the legacy of other Japanese baseball players. And so I think that's a good lesson that Black Americans, we can learn from the Japanese. And I just really wanted to add that point because I thought it was a really good point to mention.
We protect our legacy. See, we come from a dominant culture. We protect our legacy by out-competing everybody. That's how our legacy is etched in stone. We out-compete them to the point they think we're supernatural. These other folks out-compete you by blocking you. Remember, for those of you who saw my documentary, Race War, you saw Richard Spencer sit there. He sat there in my documentary and said, I don't believe in competition. No, competition as an aesthetic or competition for entertainment purposes, I guess you could. But as far as economic competition and social no, I don't believe in competition. I believe in winning. And if that means we put in an artificial ceiling and you're not allowed to compete, well, yeah, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Black folk, because we have never had the power to hold anybody back. We've never had the will or the desire to, but furthermore, we've never had the power historically to do so. We've accepted it as our culture to be better, to outcompete. That's become our culture. So you see, whether it was socially or otherwise, I did the story last night I did about Oscarville. Not really sure what's going on there. I think Blog Talk is messing up. Did my story about Oscarville here last night. We have a culture where we haven't been able to rely on anybody to sit up here and give us anything. We haven't been able to rely on that. We haven't been able to rely on somebody stopping the competition for us and giving us an artificial win. So the way we win is we have to be better. We just got to be better. We got to earn it. We got to earn it. Just that simple. We got to earn ours. And we always have. These other folk come from places where the only way they're able to protect what they're doing is by rigging the game and rigging the rules. They can rig the game and rig the rules, and you're just not allowed to compete when they get done. That's the only way they win. If you find a foundational Black American who's winning, they earn that. They earned it by overcoming the odds. Nobody gave us anything. Everybody else had a leg up. We didn't have that. We didn't have that and we didn't get that. That's the difference. We can win without any sort of artificial barriers on everybody else. So you see, that's the real reason that folks hate on us the way that we do, because we look at them and we're like, hey, we did it without cheating. We did it without any artificial assistance. We did it without any supplemental help. We did it by overcoming your system of white supremacy. You got no excuses. You got none. See, there's a reason that they hate on that. Because you see, in other countries, in other places, you can talk about the Caribbean and Brazil having the largest black population outside Africa all you damn well want to. That population down there is not dominant. They don't have a dominant culture. They don't have a culture of dominance, and they don't have a culture of being comfortable in their own skin. Big difference. Big difference. Call from area code 516. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name and where you calling from? Call from area code 516. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Okay, I thought they were there, but apparently they are not. We'll see if we can check back on them here in a moment. But definitely the reason why they don't want to have those kind of conversations here is because these other folks here need the extra help. We've never had to do any of that. So to them, it's supernatural to be somebody who doesn't have to rely on that. Let me tell you something right now. If the Japanese Hall of Fame requires the individuals to sit up here and throw ground balls and walk people in order to protect it, you ain't got nothing to protect. I said it. If you have to resort to tactics like that in order to protect your so-called heroes in your Hall of Fame ain't worth nothing. If you gotta do that, what the hell are you protecting? How great were they? How damn great could they have been if these are the depths you have to sink to in order to, quote, protect their status? Why are you protecting it? Caller from area code 516. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from area code 516 has been abducted. Caller from area code 708. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Okay, Negroes are doing their mollies here tonight calling in. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
It's James from Chicago.
James from Chicago. What's on your mind?
I'm not sure what's going on. I guess they're messing with your stream. But what I wanted to say, and I'm glad you bought it, Doja Cat, is a lot of these people who start off with jokes in the industry and Cardi B, when they get to a certain level, you can see a lot of anti-FBA rhetoric come from them. A lot of people have forgotten about how Doja Cat was flirting with white supremacists and how she made a song pretty much dissing black men, talking about dindu or whatever the name of the song was. Cardi B's calling black women roaches and, dark skin and all that stuff. You can even talk about the disrespect from Nicki Minaj. So a lot of these non-foundational music artists that they pick and choose to give their promotion to give their come up to, a lot of them have anti-black views, specifically anti-FBA views.
Well, let's be clear about that. Doja Cat was done before she got out of the gate. I think she just retired or something. Doja Cat was done before she got out of the gate. They were hoping that they could make her into a horse that could run. But the word on her was already out so much. The block was already so hot. And then when you got Nas saying what he said, that was it. That was the death knell for her. But understand, you don't get to Nas saying what he said without the black grassroots saying what we said. If you eliminate us saying what we were saying, we were the ones who put Doja Cat's name dirty in the streets. We were the ones who did that. She was hollering and yelling, but it was the black media that did that. It was all of you echoing it that did that. So when they got ready to launch her name is going out there at the same time. I don't know what is going on. Blog Talk must be having some issues on their end because my internet connection is fine. For those of you who hear me streaming, my internet connection is fine, but Blog Talk must be, Bin Laden must be repossessing the phones up there. But in any case, thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. It's probably a sign for me to go ahead and wrap things up. I'm not really sure why Blog Talk keeps doing that, but thank you all for giving us a call here tonight. But definitely, look, if you doubt the power of being on code was the end of Doja Cat's career, if you want to call it that. Being on code was the end of her career before it even got started. Being on code was the end of her career before she even got started. She was done before she ever got out of the gate. Yeah, they tried to stick in there and hang in there for a little while, but the name was too dirty in the streets. And they're trying to resurrect some others. The machine is trying to get behind them. They're trying to make it happen. Yeah, they're trying. They're going to go ahead and they got so much invested. They got to give it a shot. You got to try. The odds are overwhelmingly against them, but they got to try. But the truth of the matter is Iggy Azalea missed her day. She missed her day. Hot 97, these corporate media outlets, you can sit up here and keep trying to make her relevant again. She had her shot. She had her moment. She missed her day. So you can keep throwing good money after bad if you want to. She had her time. And now I'm seeing here, you're trying to bring another one in the room. We see it. We see it, but don't be surprised if they stumble and fall. Don't be surprised if your new White Hope stumbles coming out the gate. Because the worst thing that could possibly happen that you could possibly imagine has finally happened here. We're on code and we're watching. So before you can even get this one out the gate, we're on top of it. We know you didn't know this. We know you didn't count on that. You want everybody to believe it's a big old joke. We see it for what it is. Yeah, this is really awkward to the point of being funny. This is so awkward it could be funny, but this is no laughing matter. This is no laughing matter. You have to guard your culture. You have to guard that. You have to speak up. You have to speak out. You have to be on code. You can't sit up here and condone it. You cannot do that. Not at all. Don't let these people sit up here and tell you that it's a joke or a game. The only reason why they're saying this here is that they want you to stand down while they run wild. They'll be perfectly fine dealing with a minority of the black population to sit up here and go along with it as long as the majority stays quiet. That's what they're looking for. Our job is to make sure that we don't go along with it. That's our job. Being on code is about doing what we're doing here tonight. You hold war councils like this. There's thousands of you sitting here right now. Thousands of you listening to the program right now. This was an angle they weren't counting on. They were not counting on this happening. They were counting on everybody just ignoring it and going along. This is totally different. Totally different. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here. So thank you very much to my man Sherman and everybody else who's contributed to support the program on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat. Thank you very much. Like I say, on this channel, Super Chat actually works. So thank you very much for taking out the time to do that. So Terrell Black, I appreciate you here, and everybody else who's contributed to support the program here. You see their names. Thank you very much here. And if you're new here to the Black Channel on this channel, welcome back to the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. We do this every weekend. definitely I'm going to be here for a few weeks on this channel. Number one, I want to get my numbers up over here. And number two, I want us to make sure that in case anything does happen, you know where the address is, or the rallying spot. You know where we're rallying at. We're rallying at right here, and the struggle continues as always. So thank you all very much for showing up here tonight. And if you haven't been to our website, BlackChannelFilms.com, go there and check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m. Gentrified Race War, all available on DVD and streaming. Go to BlackChannelFilms.com and check that out. Thank you to everyone here showing up here tonight. Make sure you click that red subscribe button and that yellow notification bell so that you can keep up with us here on this channel as well. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, Black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.